Hey guys, this is the Game Digest and here is our first impression review for the latest Spiders release, Steelrising. Steelrising is an action RPG Bloodborne-esque game set in the 1700s during the French Revolution. The revolution has been suppressed by Louis XVI and his Clockpunk army. Aegis, the game's lead character, is a strange automaton who dares to single-handedly challenge the king's army to save history. Steelrising is set in an alternate universe where Paris is being choked by a tyrant king, where both allies and enemies have unclear motives, and notable historical figures will cross your path, such as Marie Antoinette, Lafayette, and Robespierre. In this early impressions review of Steelrising's early access beta, we will be showing you what Steelrising has to offer. Gameplay. Steelrising has its own unique style of delivering you a hack-and-slash Souls-like ARPG game with new mechanics offering something novel in the genre. In its early access, Steelrising has 4 different character classes, namely bodyguards, soldiers, dancers, and alchemists. Bodyguards favor more on durability and engineering attributes of your character. They act like a tank that can pack punch, a class with relatively balanced stats. Soldiers are your slow and heavy hitter classes that can do massive damage and stagger enemies. Their main attributes are power and vigor. Power makes your physical attacks stronger, while vigor increases your critical damage, endurance, or stamina. Dancers are your fast attacking damage dealing class, capable of landing critical blows with chain attacks that immobilizes enemies. They are your assassin type class in most RPG games. Their main attributes are agility and vigor. Agility increases immobilization damage and your overall physical damage, while vigor increases critical damage and endurance. Alchemists are your mage class. This class is able to afflict different types of statuses like burning, freezing, and shock to their enemies. Elemental alchemy and engineering are their main attributes. Elemental alchemy increases alchemical damage and resistance, while engineering increases armor, effectiveness of alchemical afflictions, and the chance of finding loot. In this game, you can equip 2 types of weapons which you can freely swap during battles, enabling you to strategize and exploit your enemy's weaknesses. Every weapon has its own basic and heavy attacks, equipped with the ability to do special moves. You have the ability to make combos with your basic and heavy attacks, but it may consume a healthy amount of stamina or endurance. In this game, you can explore and experiment with different playstyles and combos using different weapons synergies. Breakthrough by dealing with close-range swift claw attacks, slashing enemies using spears, or delivering rapid-fire range attacks. The choice is yours. You can equip and use items during and after battles to quickly heal you. Items are also available to allow you to toss explosives, petrify enemies, buff you, and a whole lot more. You'll have the ability to equip different modules with different passive effects, and as you progress further, you can add more modules by unlocking module slots using collected keys that can be found in different areas of the map or by defeating certain enemies. Through upgrading your beret, not only can you increase the number of health potions you can bring, but also increase the amount they can heal you. Defeating enemies earns you Anima Essence, which is used to gain levels and increase your stats. Anima Essence is also used to increase the levels of your weapons, making them more powerful. You're also able to loot and equip different armors and gears that provide different stats and effects. Endurance or stamina play a big factor in this game, from sprinting, dodging, to landing a series of attacks and combos to make sure you can manage them efficiently. Once your stamina is fully spent, there would be a slight moment of vulnerability where you aren't able to attack or dodge, so make sure to keep that in mind. World and storytelling. The game is set during the French Revolution in a clockpunk aesthetic, fully rendered in realistic 3D. You'll find yourself exploring different villages, abandoned factories, mazes, gardens, and buildings espousing classic architectural aesthetics. You'll encounter various types of unique enemies like grotesque axe-wielder warriors, mechanical hounds, aberrant lancers, fire-breathing medusas, and a lot more in your explorations where you'll encounter Vestos. Vestos are your good old checkpoints where you can replenish your potions, upgrade your attributes, equipment, add modules, use shop, etc. Story-wise, the game has a lot to tell. It being set in one of the most significant points in European history, the game's potential to provide a great storyline is great, and it makes the game's plot more compelling and immersive. Music direction and voice acting. Background music in this game is well composed by hitting the right emotions and building up tension during battles or exploring new areas. The sound effects are also well placed enough to evince a feel that you land every attack or hit the explosions from your cannons. Ambient sounds in this game are sublime, immersing you in the game's world, allowing you to hear the birds chirping, the frogs croaking, the enemies' footsteps, the other noises that add a more immersive feel with the environment you are in. Default language of the dubbing is English, and the voice acting is great, although there are times the dub is out of sync with the character's model's lips. Performance. We played this game using the PS5 and so far the game did run smoothly. We haven't experienced any problems during battles, boss fights, and explorations. Apart from minor visual glitches, we encountered an area where falling enemies were suddenly reanimated and left standing. But overall, the game performed well on a next-gen console like the PS5. Final thoughts. If you're looking for a new Souls-like action RPG game with a steampunkish vibe, then this might be a game for you. Although riddled with the regular trappings of what you can find in the genre, this might still be a worthy pickup. Feel free to post down below your comments about our video. Stay tuned for our next tutorial and guide for Steelrising. If you want more gaming content, be sure to like and subscribe to the Game Digest, and don't forget to enable notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Thank you for your support and stay tuned for our next game guides and reviews. We'll see you next time. Cheers!